Hello and welcome to day 3 of the Pepsi Cup Prague 2019. Thank you for joining us for the first semi-final between Sledgehammer Cricket Club of India and Winterthur Cricket Club of Switzerland. We're all set fair for a wonderful day of festival cricket here in Prague. I'm joined on commentary by my partner for the whole tournament, Terry. Terry, what are you looking forward to most today?
Well, lots of expectation for the second semi-final between Al Shaheen and Czech Republic. But first, we're going to be in for a really interesting match here. Sledgehammer, the reigning champions of the tournament, past 2 years. Winterthur, this is their 6th time participating in the Pepsi Cup. They've never gotten past the semi-final stage, so they are going to be giving their all in an effort to go further than they have before. Quite chilly here this morning in Vinoř. No rain at the moment, a lot of cloud around, stiff breeze, but things are not putting a dampener on the enthusiasm and the motivation of the players.
Forget the players, Terry. I can see some of the crowd even warming up here. There's a stiff breeze and a few stiff bodies after last night's excursions. Day 2 evening at the Pepsi Cup Prague always brings about a few excursions to the centre of the city. A Sledgehammer are just about to take the field. They're batting first against Winterthur. Great to hear a little bit of music in the middle of a former farm field on the outskirts of Prague.
Now, earlier in the tournament, Nishant, we were privileged to witness Winterthur putting on a fantastic yoga display. Did we get a repeat performance this morning?
I think it was too cold. I didn't see any of the Winterthur players at all warming up with yoga. I think hitting the floor would have probably left them with a few mud stains on the backs of their shirts as well. But yes, you mentioned Winterthur put on an incredible performance in their first match. I think they put on 260 odd and it was a very dominant display. Since then, it's been a bit of a damp squib for Winterthur. They haven't lived up to the high standards they set in the first game.
But still doing enough to finish second in their group and make it through to the upper semi-final. It was a tough group for them. Al Shaheen dominated, picking up 6 points, and Winterthur, Panthers from Bahrain, and Awali each got 1 win. Winterthur made it through to the semi-finals on net run rate. As I said, they've been here many times before. This is not their first appearance in semi-finals of the Pepsi Cup. 3 years ago, in fact, they were here in the semis against Al Shaheen, who at that point were called Falcons Doha. So they've managed to finish above Al Shaheen Falcons Doha. No. They still weren't able to finish above Falcons Doha, now called Al Shaheen. But they'll be looking to see if they can get past Sledgehammer and try to prevent Sledgehammer from picking up a trifecta of Pepsi Cup titles.
check if the other microphone's working?
It is, yeah.
Should we just use 2 mics then? See me taking my hands out of my pockets and making them cold every time I want to.
I'm fine. I don't mind.
It's just
Nothing.
it's just to get consistent distance as well from the mic. And then
It's a little complicated with the setup for 2, which is part of the reason why we actually decided not to. The other was so that it's much harder to talk over each other. So we have to actually share. We have to take turns. That's just taking so long. I believe Winterthur won the toss.
I don't know
Winterthur won the toss here, yeah? Anyone know?
Yes.
We've still never
Yes.
received a team sheet for any match.
Yes, Winterthur were first. First on the interview, which means they won the toss. Do you guys need anything?
No, I think we're all ready, all set. Thank you.
I'm taking this. Okay. Did you upload it already?
Yes. It was processing at least, so it should be up.
Yes.
Great.
Get Mohanty, 77. With Deepak Sharma, 11.
Stick that under there. Oh my god, that's terrible. This guy's terrible. How can you get bowled through the gate middle stump?
Very easily.
That's
Done many
absolutely-
times.
I mean,
On the wrong. Yes. So we're finally ready to get underway here in the first
So,
semi-final
2-1 here,
between
and then 2-1
Sledgehammer and Winterthur. Opening the batting for Sledgehammer, we have Deepak Sharma on strike. He's joined by Pravi Mohanty. Great.
Fuss.
Fingers crossed.
And opening the bowling from the Chateau is Banaheka. Wideish, push to point. Start off with a dot ball.
I know it's called the Pepsi Cup. I know it's called the Pepsi Cup. But on a day like this, nothing beats a nice hot cup of coffee. If you're just joining us, then thanks very much for following online. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat. But the best way of following us, and best way of following the game today, is by coming down to Vinoř Cricket Ground and watching delectable cricket shots like that. That's a lovely cover drive to get us going today.
An excellent first boundary there for Sledgehammer. A slower delivery there, and it's been called wide. You can also follow the live score for this match and for the other match happening on the Banks field, which is the lower first semi-final, the lower group, on the ECN app, European Cricket Network. Batsman scamper through for a single. With these cooler, overcast conditions, and we did have a little bit of moisture this morning, a little bit of rain. Are you expecting these conditions to have much of an effect on the match this morning, Michelle?
Well, yesterday, Terry, we did see a few early drops and a few injuries to the fingers. I think a lot of players were just pulling out of catches at the last minute or not really going wholeheartedly at them. It's a bit of a funny thing, really. The colder conditions really freeze up your hands, and the fact that we're in the middle of a field which has it's very, very exposed. It's very, very exposed out here, and so when there's a little bit of wind, the wind chill factor is very, very significant. As we see another lovely, lovely punch through point. It was another slower ball, and it was just a bit shorter, a bit wider, but it was timed beautifully. The Sledgehammer team are known for their power plays. They're known as a big six-hitting team, but they've started off with a couple of very pleasing boundaries through point. After the first over, Sledgehammer Cricket Club from India are 11 for none. It's 11 runs for no wicket after 1 over.
Both Deepak Sharma and Mohanty on 5. Due to the stiff breeze and cooler conditions, most of the Winterthur players in the field have got something warm over their shirts. A little difficult for us to identify by shirt numbers that are not visible. Bowler comes in, lick to the onside. The keeper does very well to gather quickly, preventing any opportunity for a single.
I know it's cold, but I would rather freeze to death than wear a hoodie while playing cricket.
I'm not sure you've ever actually played here when it's been truly cool. I once played in a match here where the temperature was about 5-6 degrees. All big play and a miss, stumping attempt. Batsman is safe. The wind chill factor meant that it was -5, and I had 3 layers on when I was playing. A thermal undershirt, my jersey, and a woolen hoodie that was also underneath my jersey. Movement very limited. but these are the compromises you have to make just to be able to play.
And we see a same again. Length ball, a wild slog. And just as I'd mentioned, the cold conditions are not helping anybody. And there are some overthrows here. Long on had turned his back already on the ball. It was coming straight to him. Luckily, his colleague from deep mid-wicket was on the ball there, but I think that might well be the first drop of many today. I'm very much concerned about the health of the players' fingers out there.
That's in the air again, but finds the gap. Fielder comes in off the long boundary to collect it. It should have been a very simple catch. He was under it very early. Made a little bit of a meal of it, to be honest. I think that drops like that could come back to haunt Winterthur.
So we see the fielder at point just rubbing his hands together, trying to warm them up desperately. See another ball tucked to leg, and the first bubble of the day. We saw a couple of bubbles in that play just there. The ball just bounced up a little bit, and the fielder bobbled along the floor as well. He did well to get his body behind it, all things considered. That's the end of the second over, and Sledgehammer Cricket Club are 15 for none after 2 against Winterthur.
Vinoř going to continue from the Chateau end. As captain of Winterthur, Mo just makes a subtle adjustment. He's a lot less animated in his fielding changes than, say, someone like Chris Pearce is. Mo's not a man who likes to draw attention. Now making another altercation. Mo doesn't make alterations.
And a good bit of cricket there from Winterthur. They were really trying to make sure that the fielding change was as precise as possible. And the bowler responds in kind. They really don't want Sledgehammer to be slugging them over cow corner sort of area, which we see so often during the first 6 overs of the power play. They've kept one fielder at long off, one fielder on the deep point boundary, and then there's a similar delivery, this time slower for, but far too wide this time. And the batsman managed to run a by as well, as the wicketkeeper didn't manage to gather that completely cleanly. So it looks like Winterthur are going to persist with this line outside off stump. Tough ask of the bowler here. Oh, and we've seen a banana peel on the pitch. Oh, what a run out! Oh, that's the first brilliant bit of play of the day. That might well be making the end of the day highlights. It was that line just wide outside off. The Sledgehammer batsman had anticipated the same. And he just walked across the off stump a little bit, just tapped it into the offside. He was looking for the single, but there was a bit of miscommunication. The non-striker had already taken a few steps down the pitch, and oh, that you never like to see that. You don't like to see that. The non-striker, poor man, just rubbing his backside because that's where he's fallen. That's where he landed. There was a banana peel right in the middle of the pitch there, and the non-striker did a bit of a Summit Patel, landed flat on his backside, unable to get up and turn around quickly enough. But credit to the bowler there who swooped on the loose ball. He managed to turn cleanly, and he had all three stumps to aim at from about 15 yards out. Did very well, and that's a big wicket first up. Sledgehammer 18 for 1 after 2.3 overs.
Indeed. Top throw from the bowler. He had no choice but to hit directly. No one was covering the stumps. If he'd missed, they probably would have actually gotten an overthrow. But Winterthur will be very happy to have gotten Mohanty out for only 8 runs. He has been a big hitter and a big scorer in this tournament so far.
Best kids in the world. Don't know whose idea it was to bring Moshi here, but Arav. Yeah.
Excellent stop by the bowler.
Mobile charge.
Vanahaka showing that he is fantastic and very quick off his feet to field off his own bowling.
Do you have USB? Do you have a USB? आपके पास है?
मेरे पास ये वो हाँ लेके आऊँ?
Yeah.
Only wire हो गया
Comes
इसमें.
in. There's a big appeal. They are celebrating far more than appealing. The umpire very quickly points to the sky, and that is the end of Sharma. Winterthur picking up 2 quick wickets to dismiss both openers from Sledgehammer. No one, I think, would have expected this. This is a fantastic start for Winterthur. As the Chateau field here is being swooped by a flock of... You any good with birds, Nishant?
Only the sort that get me in trouble.
It's a big celebration from Winterthur in the field with that wicket there, and rightfully so. They know they've got a dangerous batsman out.
Thanks. Thank you.
You what?
Off कर दो. Switch off.
Okay.
score है?
18 for 2.
Baik.
Sledgehammer now with 2 brand new batsmen at the crease. Rishant, do they go for a bit of consolidation or try to stick with more of a traditional power play innings?
Well, we know that's not the Sledgehammer way. Even when they have lost early wickets in previous games, they have continued to go all guns blazing. Must be said, a very well thought out start from Winterthur. You need to make sure that against Sledgehammer, the best team in the history of the Pepsi Cup Prague, you do need to come in with a plan to each and every batsman and execute as well. You can't afford any loose deliveries, and so far Winterthur have performed perfectly, really, it must be said. Vinoř has not bowled any bad balls so far. They've adjusted well, keeping some cover on the point boundary as well. And after 3 overs, Sledgehammer are 18 for 2 against Winterthur.
So Masmolo is going to continue from the southern end. Just making a couple of final positional changes to his field.
Thank you.
He's got 5 men on the offside. Three on the on. If you're thinking those numbers don't add up, it is because Winterthur are playing with only 10. Oh no, there's the 11. Apologies. He's blending in with the crowd. 2 Winterthur players come into fielding the covers and neither of them end up actually fielding it. They did play in that 10 yesterday, that's why I was thinking it was.
Yeah, Scott's the sub.
Yeah, no, but this the closest guy to us was the one I was missing.
Yeah. That's what happens when everybody's wearing a hoodie. They just blend into members of the public, and that's why wearing hoodies on the cricket field should definitely be banned. Oh, and that's coming straight towards us. Oh, that's nearly cleaned us up in the commentary box. Don't worry, everybody. I'm fine.
A fantastic shot, but we will be putting out a polite request of please do not repeat, as that ball went over our heads by an inch or 2 inside our commentary pavilion.
I was quite ready to put a hand out and stop that ball, but then I realised it is about 0 degrees here, and having just mentioned about the inevitable pain of stopping a hard cricket ball in freezing weather, I thought I'd let the tent take the damage there. Laptops were safe, cappuccinos were safe, phones were safe. As we see the ball safely threaded through the covers. I don't think that's quite reached the boundary. The DJ there maybe jumping the gun a little bit. As we see an overthrow, they've taken 3 runs. It took as we see the substitute fielder, Scott Page, have a bit of a shake of the head with his counterpart fielding a short fine leg. We see the first double teapot of the day. and it comes from Scott Page.
I think we had double teapots. Lofted back over the bowler.
Oh!
The long on fielder came around. He was perfectly positioned, but he let it go straight through his legs for 4. Understandable that the bowler was unable to stop that. Not so for his teammate, who is very quickly being moved out of that position and replaced.
That was... I mean, it's a tough one. I would say first thing in the morning, that's a tough one. You need to try and get your body behind it. But I think the issue with fielding that ball was that it took a kick off the first bounce and it died on the second bounce. It's very, very hard to predict sometimes. So I have a great deal of sympathy for the fielder there, as the off spinner just coming around the wicket. A big swing and a miss across the stumps. He missed I would say, moderate appeal there from Winterthur.
Yes, certainly not the most vocal appeal ever executed on a cricket field. So after 4 overs, Sledgehammer are 31 for the loss of 2 wickets. I think it's safe to say they would have been expecting considerably more. As Banaheka is going to continue from the Chateau end. He's already picked up 1 wicket off his bowling and executed a run out. Will we see more?
Banaheka does seem a bit of a pocket dynamo to me. He's got all the energy, all the enthusiasm, and I like that Winterthur are continuing with their key man here.
I'm sure you also like the fact that he's one of only 4 Winterthur players not wearing a hoodie. Driven through the covers, beats the man inside the ring, but the sweeper comes around, cleans up. That sweeper who just did the fielding of the previous ball is now being moved into the circle. Quite a congested cover area now.
So now Winterthur drop the man from mid on back to long on, and that's why they know the batsman likes the heaves across the leg side. That time, even though the ball is outside off, and even though they drop the man back to long on, the batsman still takes a half a step across the stumps and attempts a wild heave over leg, not connecting with it at all. And you're right, it's a very congested cover region now. Anything that gets through them will have to be very precise indeed. And, well, no luck the first time, but the second connection is exactly what the batsman was looking for. That is a huge 6 into the cornfield. We see the long on fielder disappearing into the cornfield. I'm not sure if he's going to be back for a while.
Yes, it took a while to get the first 6 of the match, but when it came, it was massive. One of the biggest 6s we've seen so far in this tournament. Mishra not mucking around at all. He'd seen by the way the bowler had set his field, he knew he was going to get stuff outside off. He had no problems getting into position for that drive. Pushed into that congested cover region and cleaned up very nicely.
That was a much better delivery from Banaheke. Much quicker, much skiddier. Much tougher to slug that.
The long-on fieldsman did not move a muscle when he saw that ball flying in his direction. He knew it was way, way over his head. He only turned to follow to see where it would land once it was past him. So it may have taken Sledgehammer a few overs to get any sixes. Now they've got two. Mishra the man. And one of our viewers thinks that Winterthur has made a big mistake sending Sledgehammer into bat. Could we be starting to see that that is true?
Well, I think the general consensus was that batting first on this slightly skiddier pitch to start off with might be a bit advantageous. Yesterday we did talk about there just being a bit of a dew factor to start off the day. Obviously with a little bit of overnight and early morning rain, though the pitch was a little bit fresh to say the least. A little bit of a greasy pitch, I suppose you could say. And the ball has come on quite nicely, to be fair. I know on the first day as well we were saying that I think it was the Awali team who said that the pitch slowed down as the game went on, and that's why they were bowled out for 70 against Winterthur themselves, I believe, which I did think was a little bit of an ambitious strategy for a cricket captain.
Yeah, despite those two sixes in the previous over, I think Winterthur will be fairly happy that they've contained Sledgehammer a bit and picked up some wickets. A fantastic sweep there for four. That just raced to the boundary. No signs of any dampness in the ground slowing it down at all. And that's more of the bowler not having any protection on the onside was punished.
I have always noted this ground here in Vinoř to be fairly quick drying as well. Despite the early morning rain, you wouldn't be able to tell. The ground is still rock solid. It does take a very long time for it to soften up.
As you said before, Nishant, we're very exposed here, so we get a lot of wind, and that is a big factor in that drying out process. Knocked into the covers, fielded by Winterthur captain Mo. Despite the fact that we can't see the sun at all, the wind does a brilliant job of drying things out. So Westmoreland comes in. That's lofted. That's a big six. The fielder had set off. He had high hopes that he could get under it for a catch, but it was already in the other field.
Tell us nice to be careful because there are going to be lots of balls coming straight there. It's probably better if they're not there. How are you doing today, Russia? Oh, how did they go?
New bat.
What type of bats you got? Did you bring it here?
As Muller continues.
Oh, that's coming to us. No way! Ah.
That's a big one.
Elizabeth, say hello. Say hello.
Mishra smacks that to cow corner.
Arrow. Arrow.
Blown away. Got to that one nice and early. Straight out of the middle of the bat.
It's coming. Watch it. This is
And
what he does.
those viewers predicting that Sledgehammer would put on a big score by batting first are starting to be shown to be correct.
Right then, Moshi. So, I think that wearing shorts today was probably the most crazy decision.
Yeah.
Benjamin, do you want to take a seat?
Mishra has now moved to 38 from 15
You can
balls.
squeeze up on here if you want.
3 4s, 4 6s. Now going on at a strike rate of 253.
I think so. Just be careful, guys.
There's
because
one
we're-
more ball
I
to
think
come
we
in
already
as
had one
Muller's
ball just whiz past my head. Yeah.
third over. Will we see another boundary?
Yes. That's coming to us.
Straight drive. Fielder gets his body behind it well. Prevents the boundary, so just a single to complete the over. 62 for 2.
Well, we were wondering whether Sledgehammer would slow down, and as I suspected, they just don't care about the wickets lost. They have one gear, and that gear is all out attack. So despite a relatively sedate power play, where Winterthur haven't really done much wrong, Sledgehammer have now started to pull away a little bit, and I just wonder whether they'll be looking for a score of 240 plus even.
Indeed. The first 4 overs of that power play looked very much like Winterthur's. And then overs 5 and 6, the balance completely shifted. As we'll see a change in the bowling from the Chateau end. I believe this might be Abbas Zaidi. No, it is not. That will be Bilal Salim.
How do you know
I interviewed him.
that?
Number 8.
Now that the power play is over, Winterthur getting more men on the boundary. Scott Page is at cow corner. There's a very straight man basically behind the stumps. That's cut through the covers. There's a
Ooh,
man on the
no,
boundary,
no,
but it's
no,
gone
no,
right
no,
through
no.
his legs for 4.
No.
As we've said many a time, you've got to get down and get your body behind it. You don't know which way that final bounce will go, up or down. Only way you can prepare is to get down low, nice and early.
Look, it's not an easy field to be a fielder on. But if we take a look at a bit of fielding focus, perhaps, the key thing to ground fielding is to keep your head close to the floor. If you keep your head close to the ground, your body weight will follow, and it can adjust much better to those late deviations and devils in the surface.
So are you suggesting that headstands would be the preferable way to field?
I think that if the fielder had done a headstand there, he'd have probably stood a better chance.
Fair enough. One more added to the Winterthur total. 67. Salim bowling to Yadav. Rahul Yadav's only on 5. That's purely down to the fact he's only that the ball he just faced was only his 4th delivery. Mishra has managed to take most of the strike. Comes in again. Slower delivery. Guided between point and gully. It's racing away. The fielder stopped it with his boot. Pick up 2 runs.
It's very delicately guided there. Very delicately done. I really like that shot. Just a little bit of weight.
It's perfectly fine on here.
Okay.
It's a bit. I think it's more about because it's grey.
Yeah, maybe a bit less sun, so it's a bit.
Yours definitely doesn't look as sharp as mine.
Yeah.
But like that's
Okay.
great.
Another single this time pushed to long off. So how, Moshi, what are your plans for today then, commentary wise? How are you going to build up everything?
I know.
Okay, so a few things I want you to do. So you know that you've got the by now I think you know a lot of the names and that sort of thing. Sledgehammer Cricket Club are 70 for 2 after 7 overs. So I'll let you go on instead of me after this over. If you make sure you know who's bowling and all of that sort of thing. We just want to try and make things a bit more organised commentary-wise this time. Make it flow a little bit better. Have some conversation pieces you can actually start saying, "Oh, I interviewed this guy. He was doing this," or any pieces from the crowd, anybody from the crowd you want to talk to, that sort of thing. Your highlights so far, tactically, that sort of thing, right? So we've accepted a lot of silence so far during the commentary stints. Now we want to make sure it's flowing a lot better, okay? This is
And are these
Get on
papers
a
like
sicko.
because quite?
No, they're not.
They're not.
No,
like,
this is
quite-
Mishra is 3 when he's wearing 5. So you got to try to go more on getting used to faces. This is much more accurate today than it has been before, so we can rely on this a lot more.
So Mishra's 5 and Yadav is 1.
this one's coming to us. Oh!
That is slapped to cow corner. Not that far away from the fielder just inside the circle, but far too quickly hit for him to have any chance. Likewise for the man from long on who raced around trying to cut it off. 4 more to Sledgehammer. 4 more to Rahul. Despite the change in bowler from the southern end, the story has continued. That's very wide. Did it actually pitch on or off the wicket? Looks like it was on. The umpire signals a wide. Winterthur losing his line a bit there.
Understandable, as it's just a little bit slippery to hold the ball. Some of the crowd are so cold out there, they are wearing batting gloves just to keep their digits warm. We have already seen a few misfields so far today. I feared early on that this would be the sort of day where, unless your fingers and your hands are already heavily calloused, you wouldn't want to be getting in the way of too many deliveries. particularly against the Sledgehammer team, because when they hit the ball, it really does stay hit. And just there, I thought I heard a little bit of a noise as the ball passed the bat. Perhaps it was bat on pad, but we've seen Yadav just play and miss a few times. He's not quite looked his fluent self, but that was a gift, really. Full toss outside off. He just opened the face that was always racing for four. As the umpire joins the carnival atmosphere, I'm not sure he'll be getting anywhere near top marks on Strictly. To be fair, I think the umpires might just be dancing out there to stay warm today.
Yes, umpire Ruud Kallinfrex there from the Netherlands. Very animated signal for. I've just seen the third umpire for this match walk past our tent, Pradeep KG, who's from the Czech Republic. He's wearing ear warmers. That's another wide.
And I think things are just starting to get a little bit concerning for Winterthur. Mishra came out when they were 18 for 2, and he's just started to smash it to all parts. He's on 45 off 20. Yadav, despite not looking his fluent self and a few play and misses, now 20 of 10. There's another drive. He likes that caress through the offside, but I have to say that was rather uppish. I have to say, Yadav not looking like his usual self. He likes the big hits over long on. Just seems a bit reticent today, but as I said, still striking at 200. So what do I know?
Sledgehammer now 86 for 2 after 8 overs. Big over for them there. And it's going to be Bilal Salim continuing from the Chateau end. His captain just runs over to him to have a little word about the field. And commentary, Nishant has been replaced by Moshe. Moshe, how are you this morning?
Yeah, good. A bit colder than the other days, but still good cricket, hopefully, to be seen.
As Mishra drives into the covers and skipper Mo slips over as he tries to field that, allowing them to get through for 1. It is, of course, afternoon now, forgetting how late we started compared to the other days. And I believe you've been in the nets this morning, Moshe.
Yeah, enjoyed it after the summer not playing any cricket. I was a couple of wides, couple of weird swings with the bat, but hopefully as the year goes on I will get better.
Nice shot from Rahul Yadav there, but straight to the man at point. Were there many people at nets this morning?
8.
Very cool in Prague this morning, so I can understand a few people maybe not wanting to get out of bed.
Yeah, but still good. At least got a more batting time and more bowling.
Salim comes in shorter this time, and Rahul Yadav picks that up effortlessly, guides it over the cover region, 1 bounce over the boundary for 4. Lovely shot from Yadav there. Moshe, how do you think Sledgehammer are going here?
Well, they had a slow start, but I think now that they're getting into it with Mishra and Yadav batting very well, I think that they are going to score a very high total.
Indeed. The search party for the ball has not been able to recover it just yet. It did go a long way over the roadside boundary. So 8.3 overs gone so far. Sledgehammer 91 for the loss of 2. As we said, a bit slow in the first 4 overs. We thought the balance was in the favour of Winterthur at that point in time, but ever since, Sledgehammer have been on top of this game. Mishra and Yadav racking up the runs, lots of boundaries. What do you think Winterthur can do here to break up this partnership?
Well, we'll have to definitely limit the amount of misfields because there has been a couple, and I think just try their best. Really, they need good bowling and good fielding. I think breaking up this partnership is crucial for them because if they don't in the next couple of overs, things could get really bad for them.
Indeed. Quite a bit of a delay. We've got the ball back in the hands of Salim the bowler. Should be able to get underway. Curious if the length of that ball search will be disruptive to anyone. Will the bowler need to refine his rhythm? Yadav need to refocus? Or will it be more of the same?
Salim is running in.
Driven straight, the bowler sticks the leg out, stops it. Bit of a loud noise when the ball hit his leg there.
Yeah, not going to be pleasant, but he's definitely going to be happy that he stopped the ball and prevented one.
Straighter ball there, good length. Yadav pushes it to the onside, they pick up a single. I believe you interviewed Bilal Salim, the bowler, yesterday.
Yes, I did. It was before his final game. And very excited, and he was hoping to go far in this tournament as he and some of his teammates appeal for LBW, but not out.
Yeah, turned down there as we have a little bit of rain here at Vinoř. Just a light drizzle. Nothing to be of concern to the umpires about any sort of stoppage. It will make the conditions a little bit more slippery for fielders and batsmen alike. They will have to be careful when running around. Nine overs having been completed, 92 for 2 is the score for Sledgehammer. And Rogana Tharsan will continue bowling from the southern end.
As it's a good shot for Yadav, but Scott manages to stop it. So only the 2 runs there for Sledgehammer.
Scott, who just did the fielding, is your former coach, I believe.
Yes, yes.
Was it enjoyable working with him and teaching you cricket?
Yeah, very good.
Bowler comes in. A bit of an inside edge there. He's looking more to push that to the offside instead. Just getting the single. Push to the covers this time by Mishra. This has been a much better over for Winterthur so far. No boundaries, no wides. But it's in the air, fielder's coming around, but it's just gone over the boundary. The umpire signals 6. As soon as I spoke about a lack of boundaries, Mishra jumps in and smacks one.
Yeah, brilliant shot, and that takes him to 52 runs off 23 balls, 4 fours, 5 sixes. Brilliant batting from the Sledgehammer batsman.
Yes, an excellent half century from Mishra.
Half century completed. Great, great.
The ball comes in again. Plays it into the covers. The throw's a little wide, not backed up well. The fielder was in position, but he's unable to stop it, and Mishra gets through for a single. His teammates with a belated applause for the 50 he got up after that 6, so he signals them. So Roganatharshan into Yadav. It's wide-ish, chops down on it. Get through for the 1 for the end of the over.
Well, as you started speaking about how good over it was from Winterthur, Mishra hit a 6. Just that's overthrow and fielder not backing up well. Single. That's what Winterthur will definitely want to stop doing. As now, after halfway through the Sledgehammer innings, they are 103 for 2. So very good considering the slow start, and Winterthur will definitely want to prevent more runs being scored.
Question though, Moshe, is can they? Or even how can they? So with this 103 at the halfway point of the innings, what sort of total now do you think Sledgehammer would be aiming for?
I think the way they've been batting for the last couple of overs, they definitely 200, but above. I'm saying around 230 maybe, and if they bat very well, up to 250. As yesterday in the chat we got told that when a partnership between 2 Sledgehammer batsmen gets good, then they can score 250 plus. As Bilal once again running in, and it's a good shot. This time no misfield, so 1 run there for Sledgehammer.
The drizzle getting a little heavier here at Vinoř. It stays as it is, we should be okay. As Bilal Salim comes in again from the Chateau end. Slower delivery this time. Mishra just pushes it back to the bowler. I am getting a little fearful now, Moshe, that the rain might get heavier. Do you think we could have stoppage at all?
Well, definitely if it gets heavier than yes, but the way it's going, I don't think it's the game will stop, because on the first day, so in the last game, the rain got quite heavy, and you asked the umpire after the game if he was thinking about stopping play, then he said definitely not. So I think it would have to get quite a lot more heavier than this for the game to be stopped.
Absolutely. Salim in again.
Oi.
Shortish
Oi.
in the air.
Oh no!
Oh! Winterthur,
Oh no!
Winterthur captain Mo with a great diving effort to his left. Looked like he got his hands to it. Yeah, he's shaking his hand. He's definitely wrapped it. The fielder on the boundary races around to try to cut it off, but he's unable to do so. And Mishra picks up 4 more. A tough chance. Mo did really, really well to get to it, but that could have been a massive wicket for them.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about, how to break up the partnership. But that's what Winterthur will want to prevent, as that is a brilliant shot that goes for another 4 for Mishra.
Just slapped that one through square leg. Quite a big gap by the wideish fine leg and the deep mid wicket. In comes Salim. Hits straight to Mo. Fields this one nice and cleanly to bring up the end of the over. 112 for 2.
Well, except those 2 fours, it was a brilliant over by Salim. Only from the first 3 balls, only 1 run scored. A bit of a shame that it was a drop catch, but it was very, very hard. But I think more overs like this, and Winterthur could get the wicket, the very crucial wicket.
As we said, 112 for 2 after 11 overs. Mishra is on 61. Rahul Yadav on 30. As we have a change in the bowling from the southern end. Coming on for Winterthur is Sahan Lakshitha, number 99. See if he is able to break this partnership.
As he is just discussing something with his captain there before he comes into bowl the first ball. Which he has just bowled, and it was a wide. One of the things Winterthur will definitely want to prevent from doing if they want to win this game.
So far in the tournament, Lakshitha has bowled 8 overs, figures of 1 for 67. Not the type of figures that you would expect him to be able to break up this partnership.
No, definitely not. But so far, he's bowling not brilliantly as that. He's got one wide and a dot ball. As that is a single, it's a bottom edge from Yadav. Bounces into the floor, keeper dives for it, but the batter have time to go for the single.
All 56 per? That's great.
Dot ball.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
In comes Lakshitha. Mishra pushes it into the covers, fielded by Winterthur skipper Mo.
Another dot ball. Lakshita running in. And just a little flick for a single, but overthrow, but the captain of Winterthur fields it well, so just a 1-1.
A leg by there. He actually didn't make contact with the bat, came off the pad as signalled by umpire Rud. Shorter, and he's just effortlessly picked that up, flying away to cow corner for a 6. Mishra, so graceful, so effortless. The man does it with ease. He makes hitting sixes look so simple. And with that glorious hit, I shall leave you, Moshe, and Nishant will come and join you for the end of the innings.
Thank you. After 12 overs, Sledgehammer are 121 for 2. Just before that last ball was bowled, I was going to say what a brilliant over it is from Lakshita, as Terry was talking about. Not brilliant figures in the Pepsi Cup so far, but it was a very good over there, only going for 9 runs with a brilliant 6 from Yada to end the over off, which takes him on to 37 off 22. So going into the 13th over, Sledgehammer are 121 for 2.
Oh, okay. So this match continuing to go the way of Sledgehammer. That's the 100 partnership up for these two batsmen. Came in at 18 for 2 after 3 overs. And that's another huge blow over long off. These two really starting to motor now. I fear that something in the region of 240 is now realistic.
Yeah, definitely, as the run rate is getting picked up as a tennis ball lands on the tent. So Mishra's face
Mino, you're
Rogana
freeze out there, man.
Tarsham's second ball of the over. Sorry for the pronunciation there. As he just drives that one
Okay, but
to the offside for a single. It's very short. As beautiful 4 is hit there by Yadav. So Sledgehammer looking in a fairly comfortable position batting. This partnership has really gone to the next possible level.
I'm sure they've got these names wrong, haven't they?
Well, I thought originally Mishra's
No, but it's like that guy isn't Summon. Summon was the tall guy. Summon
I'm
was,
reading it off his.
Yeah, but like this guy who's come round to field, he's not Summon. Summon is like the really tall Sri Lankan guy who I can't. I don't think he's the bowler right now either. I'm really confused by the name.
As that one races off to the boundary. Lakshita trying to stop it, but fails to do so. A dot ball there. Bit of a misfield, but only the single there for Sledgehammer. So after 13 overs, Sledgehammer are 137 for 2, 16 runs of that over. And is definitely going up. Yadav, 8 runs from his half century.
Well, I've just had my first patient of the day, and I didn't think my first patient of the day would be asking for cold spray as Chris Pierce comes up trumps with a woolly hat. That's what I needed today. Woolly hats and umbrellas would be doing excellent business today.
Unlike shorts.
Yeah, Moshe, I'd like you to please explain your fashion choice today, please. Could you please explain why you've come dressed in shorts on the coldest day in several months here in Prague?
To be honest, I don't quite know. And I think I'm starting to regret my decision a bit. Single there for Sledgehammer.
Yep, and that's gone straight as you like. And that's gone all the way for a huge six. Both Mishra and Yadav really taking the Winterthur bowlers to task now. Winterthur have no answers so far.
As Winterthur are now more desperate than ever to get this wicket. And that is 4 runs added to the Sledgehammer total. And this over from Lakshita hasn't really been the best so far. Lakshita once again running in. And that is a wide, so not the best of bowling from him so far.
7 sixes already from Mishra. Again, he came in at 18 for 2. He smashed 74 off 36. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter when he's coming in. And there's another boundary for Sledgehammer. This time, smash through cover. That was very, very aesthetically pleasing. And I think my prediction of 240 might, if anything, be a little bit on the low side the way these two are going. We've got Lakshita, who's quite possibly the fastest bowler in the tournament. But he's gone the distance today, showing that it's not just pace that you need. You do need a bit of control. And now, I've spoken too soon. I put the mockers on the batsman, and the bowlers heard me. And to be fair, it was a little bit of a half track, a little bit like, I mean, I really deserve to go the distance. Mishra will be kicking himself. He's out for 82 or 39, 7 sixes, 8 fours. A brilliant innings, yet again, from Mishra of Sledgehammer. That looked like it could have been smashed anywhere over the leg side for 6. But just mistimed there. It was a bit of a filthy half tracker on leg stump. But it's mistimed completely, and it just pops up for an easy squat.
He's going to get his century. Very important wicket there for Winterthur to end off the 14th over, after which Sledgehammer are 154 for 3. And here is Benjamin. Hello, Benjamin. Hello. Are you enjoying this game so far? Yes, I'm enjoying this game very much. It's a good game. Good cricket. How much do you think will Sledgehammer have at the end of their innings? I would say 250. Today it's going to be the 250. As
I don't know, brother.
17 runs off that 14th over. Oof. Now Yadav with unconvincing shot there. 17 runs, quite a lot, but then the very crucial and important wicket for Winterthur. We'll just have to wait and see if it will really make such a difference as a full delivery there, but it's just driven by Yadav. The fielder on the boundary manages to stop it. Banaheka bowling, and just confirmation, we should have scored 82 runs of 39 balls, 8 fours, 7 sixes. Banaheka coming in with the next ball, and the new batsman just flicking it onto the offside, and 2 runs. Yes, 2 runs for Sledgehammer, which brings them on to 157. And Ravi a single, yes, a single there, right to the fielder. Yeah, right to the fielder, but it did bounce out of his hands, so Sledgehammer managed to get the single, and Yadav finds himself back on strike. Banaheka is running in, and Yadav just trolling that into the offside. So another single for Sledgehammer. So far, after that wicket, the run rate's kind of calmed down and gone down a bit, don't you think? Yes, it's much lower now after the 2 Korean after that wicket. They're not batting so well now. So we'll have to wait and see if Yadav and Akri, the new man in, can form a similar, if not better, partnership than Yadav and Mishra. After 15 overs, Sledgehammer 159 for 3, so that's a very good over from Banaheka. Only 5 runs scored for me, so we'll have to wait and see if it is because of Banaheka's bowling or because of the loss of a wicket. Atri currently 3 of 3, and Yadav 5 runs away from half a century. As the first ball in, and it's gone for 4. Brilliant shot by Yadav, just to pull to the boundary, and 4 runs added to the Sledgehammer total. So Yadav now just 1 run away from half a century. 6 4s, 1/6 of the ball is coming in, and that's a full toss, but it's in the air, and two fielders going for it. No one could catch it, and a single there for Sledgehammer. So Yadav now on 50, but it was not a very convincing shot, was it, Benjamin? The fielders were running towards it, couldn't get to it in time. Yeah, he wasn't very confident on that shot. As the next ball will be coming in soon. Masmula bowling, as Atri just controls that, drives that into the offside, and another single for Sledgehammer.
Ooh.
Smaller once again.
Oh.
And he's gone. There goes Yadav, bowled. As on his 50 he gets bowled. What did you think of that, Benjamin? He was trying to just kind of flick it off to the onside. Just you can see now repeating the shot he wanted to play.
6-5.
And he fails to do so when the ball's coming at him and he's bowled. Benjamin, do you think now Mishra and Yadav gone? Do you think this could mean anything for Sledgehammer? It could make a difference, but you never know what the new batsman can do. The new batsman Azam walking onto the crease. So what do you think Sledgehammer should be aiming for now, after they've lost their two best batsmen so far, Benjamin? And you people watching, make sure to write into the chat, what do you think will be Sledgehammer's total after the end of their innings? Now Yadav is out. I think that could make a difference. So I'll change my decision and I'll say 230. 230. Wow, still a fairly high score though. And you people watching, make sure to make your prediction in the chat.
Nietzsche. Oi.
As new batsman facing his first ball, it's a misfield there. The batsman could have gone for two, but it is already a bit overrun by Azam, so single.
You're right here, lad.
With Atri, who's been in for a bit longer, he has only faced 4 balls, scored 4 runs, but he should definitely
you're
be
right.
the more aggressive batsman in this partnership, at least to start it off, as he hits that straight, and the batsmen are going for 2, and 2 runs it is. The fielder picked it up. He decided to wait a bit before throwing it in calmly and comfortably, not to do an overthrow. Very sensible from the Winterthur 99 Lakshita. So, Marshall, what is your prediction? I don't know, I'd say around 200 for Sledgehammer at the end, with 4 overs remaining. They are currently 168 for 4. I think 200 might even be too much. We will have to wait and see. They will definitely be looking to pick up the run rate a bit from Masmula's 16th over. They scored 9 runs, lost a very crucial wicket from the previous over, 5 runs. So the last 2 overs have only 14 runs and 1 wicket.
Nietzsche.
So on rates down a bit for Sledgehammer. Athlete on strike. Face. First ball of this next open, which I believe is going to be bowled by Bilal Salim. Definitely be sure to confirm when I know for sure. Not the best of shots there by Calm, the new man in. Just a little bit of an edge, no run. There Calm was a nice try, straight to the Winterthur captain, so it was single there for Sledgehammer. Winterthur captain Mohammed Samir quite a lot of work in the field today as it is three facing the next ball that he tries to hit towards the boundary. He was swinging towards where no fielders are, but he misses and attempted stumping from the wicketkeeper. Not out though. Benjamin, what do you think of that?
Yeah, it was good stamping, but he was still in his crease, so I don't.
What do you think of the swing? You know, it was a wild swing, and we can see where he was swinging to. No fielders there, so you know, obviously he's going to try and hit it there, but it was very wild because his eye off the ball there.
And yeah, he did try to swing, but now he swings it again. It's in there.
And he's caught, and there he goes. Not in for long, and Atri has gone. He goes for another swing towards the area where no fielders are, but he top edges it straight to Sahan Lakshita, who has been very good in the field.
And this is somewhat of a mini collapse from Sledgehammer. Now 5 wickets down after they were going ever so well. Did look set for about 240 for quite a while. And since Mishra went out, Yadav soon followed.
Yeah, I think when Yadav was out, we made a prediction with Benjamin here. And do you think that you said 230? Do you think that's going to happen now?
No, I mean they have 169 for 5. I know. It's not good on 230s. And oh, it's a shot was stopped at the boundary. Just a single.
Single there, yeah. Which takes Sledgehammer to 170. So 30 runs off 200. The last ball of the over is about to be bowled by Bilal Salim. And it's just driven once again to Samil, the captain, a single. So after 17 overs, Sledgehammer are 171 for 5. Do you think they'll get to the 200?
Well, they need 29 runs and 3 overs left. So I'm not sure. I think they could get close to the 200, but I'm not sure if they're going to get the 200.
It's doable, but the question is if they will do it, as
coming into bowl will be Sahan Lakshita from Southern End.
Now, Lakshita has been a little bit expensive so far, but I do fancy he's been a little bit on the unlucky side as well. He's bowled to the best batsman at the most crucial times, and I just feel like I was going to say I just felt like he had a bit of a chance of cleaning up the tail, but long off wanted none of that at all. For a long time, it looks like it was going straight down his throat, didn't it? But then it just crept over long off's head. It wasn't as if there was going to be it's going to clear him by too far, but somewhat ducked underneath it in the end.
Yeah, I thought it was going straight to him for a catch. But yeah, definitely Lakshita has been expensive, but he did get a very crucial wicket in the 14th over, Mishra in the last ball. But again, crucial wicket, but 17 runs off it as he bowls a wide, like he did twice in the 14th over I was just talking about.
Lakshita has a very slow jog of a run up, and then just builds up right at the gather, but he really is fraying at the edges now. It feels like Lakshita has just lost himself there. He bowled that much slower, tried to get just in a decent line, but it was still in the hitting zone for the batsman. Just opened the face of the blade, and it's an easy boundary through cover. The double teapot comes out from Lakshita. He doesn't know what to do here, he doesn't know where to bowl. Feels like it would be worth just trying to give the batsman a single here, but we've already had 11 runs off 2 legitimate deliveries, and a classic sign of a bowler who is fraying at the edges. Now come around the wicket. I fear for him. So the batsman just pulls out. I just think Winterthur really need to slow down things here, because they are well in the game. We saw them put up 260 in the first game of the tournament. They are capable of chasing a handy scores, delivery well wide of off stump, and the batsman left it looking for a wide. He thought it was a comfortable wide. I think it was right on the borderline. Umpire is on the side of giving Lakshita a little bit of help, but no help for Lakshita there. This is well fielded at long on. The batsman has stolen 2 runs though. It wasn't a bad bit of fielding at long on. He collected it cleanly. Opted for the safer option of underarming it to the bowler, but the batsman sneakily was looking for that, and they stole 2 runs.
Yeah, and this is Lakshita coming in.
Ooh.
And attempted big shot there from Khan. But as talking, you said underarming it was kind of, as it came back to Lakshita, it was bouncing fairly awkwardly on the ground as he had a bit of a problem picking it up. Batsmen were looking for a third, mainly safely there. It's Lakshita running in with the next ball, and that is smashed for 4. So another boundary there of Lakshita over. Not very convincing bowling there. As
The score is 188 for 5 with 2 overs left in the Sledgehammer innings. I do also wonder whether there might be a time penalty looming, It's already 1:15. I don't think that the fielding team have much time to finish this at all. I'm not sure how much leeway the umpires are going to give. There have been a few delays for lost balls, but this innings now running well over time. There could well be a time penalty, which we have seen so far in this Pepsi Cup Prague 2019. What is it?
Pepsi Cup 2019! As that is just kind of defended, at the same time flicked the offside by Saifi for a single. That was my shot in the next today, just defend it and then just kind of flick it onto the side. That's calm to face this next delivery. As it's in the air but field nowhere near that. It does bounce, so it is only a 4. But I think I was saying a couple of overs ago that they might not get to 200, but it's looking like 209. Right? 189 for 5. Well, sorry, 193 for 5 now. Only 7 runs away.
It's cool voice all the way.
As search for the ball continues. Saifi now 6 runs from 3 balls faced. So definitely since he came in, Khan has been more of the aggressor and facing more balls. 19 of 10 for him, 2 4s and a 6. And some singles. Rogana Tarshan bowling this over as another 4 from Saifi, who suddenly, as I said, he's a more aggressive one of this partnership with Khan. Is Khan started hitting? Oh, sorry, 2 4s of Khan there. Another ball in the air, but no catch there. It is well fielded, so just a single for Sledgehammer. So Benjamin. Ooh, as that is
Gaskaya.
in
That's
the
Scott
air.
Page underneath that. What a good catch.
Dropping.
What a good catch.
He dropped a catch for Winterthur yesterday, I believe, being a replacement. And he said that at the time he was not happy with himself and then that it was a hard catch. But now I'm definitely sure that he's got to be happy. And another wicket goes for Winterthur.
Well, I don't think we would have let him hear the end of that one if he put that catch down as well. I mean, it was a very difficult catch. It's a white sky today, lots of white clouds. It went straight up in the air. It was up there for a very long time. Luckily for Scott, he has, fair to say, very tough, calloused farmer type of hands. And he took that in the classic Aussie style reverse cut. It was perfect technique. Had his eyes on the ball the whole way. A very good catch taken.
Sumit Singhal comes in instead of Saifi, and that is a brilliant shot. Well, brilliant shot. It's definitely a shot that knew where the fielders are, so he just edged it over the only fielder near, but goes for to end off the over 202 for 6 after 19 overs. As Sledgehammer coming into their last over of the innings with 4 wickets remaining. It definitely has to be just try and smash it and get as many runs in the last over to just finish off with as high as possible score. But I think it's definitely going to be very interesting because Winterthur scoring 260 in this tournament already, so definitely up for an interesting second innings after 19 overs. Sledgehammer 202 for 6, and facing the next ball of Lakshita was the new batsman in Sumit Singhal, who is bowled. So I was about to say that I'm surprised that Lakshita was given the ball to bowl the last over because he has gone very expensive so far. But a wicket goes, 202 for 7. He will definitely want to continue like this for the rest of the game. He's currently 42 runs with 2 wickets, Lakshita. 4 wide, not the best. 4th over for him now. He's coming into bowl. Nicely played. But they do stop it in the so when it's a leg by 1 run. It came off the pads. So like I said before the over, they'll try and get as many runs as they can in this last over. I was going to say it's not working out that well, as that is just not a beautiful shot, but again a shot knowing where the fielders are. Bottom edge and it races off to the boundary. 4-4. Definitely looking forward to the end of this game. It's going to be very interesting. As the ball has been found. And Lakshita bowling.
Boom!
Ooh, in there! And it's a massive 6. It gone the whole way. A lovely shot. Played very well. Yeah, brilliant shot from Khan. Lands on the pavilion. So no search for the ball there as Lakshita will come in to bowl the 5th ball of the last over. Got to go for 11 for 1 of this one. Lakshita now running from the southern end. And it's into the similar area. And it's caught, but by Khan's teammate behind the boundary. So another 6. And yes, once again, the 3rd time in the Pepsi Cup, I have said similar, not similar. Not sure what's wrong. The last ball of the Sledgehammer innings is about to be bowled. They are currently 219 for 7. Can Khan get a hat trick of sixes? We'll have to wait and see. Ooh, that was a swing and a miss. Khan tried to play that down because if he would have got back to it, definitely. Well, he stops at the boundary for 4. That is another wide from Lakshita. So the last ball of the over is still yet to come. As he is running in. And it's going to the boundary. It has gone all the way. It's another 6 for Khan to end off the innings. 226 for 7, Sledgehammer.
Let's get inside. Let's get inside, lads.
226 for 7. That's the end of the Sledgehammer innings now. Benjamin, do you think it is enough? Yeah, I don't know how Winterthur bat. They scored 260 in their first game. Yeah, that's a lot of runs. If they will play like that, I mean, they will win, of course. They have a chance, but yeah, never know. Yeah, I think it's going to definitely crucial. The bowling, because there's been fairly lot of wides from Sledgehammer, from Winterthur, as each bowler has bowled at least one wide. Manaheka 1, Masmula 1, Salim 1, Roganathar Shan 1, and Lakshita 2. Lakshita. No, sorry. 3 wides for Manaheka, no wide for Masmula, no wide for Salim. Roganathar Shan is 3, and Lakshita 5. Wickets is, as I said before. Now, after Sledgehammer scoring 226 with a loss of 7 wickets after the first innings, be sure to leave your final score prediction in the chat. Who will go to the Pepsi Cup 2019 final? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Join us soon after the break.
All good?
Yeah.
They didn't quite get your 230.
What?
They didn't quite get your 230. Just short of your estimation, but you were close.
I was saying, I said 230, then I said 200. Then what?
We should have. Nishad, Nishad. I need that as well. We have a board.
Okay, just come outside the tent.
Not here, man! No!
He takes off your shirt in the cold and then he smashed me down too.
Thanks, Maja.
No, but the thing is, the painkiller helps with the inflammation.
Okay.
So it'll make you feel better anyway. Don't throw overarm, the number one thing.
Okay.
Are you batting?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to be careful, boss. Because this is the sort of thing where you don't want to overdo it, but you have to. Now you have to go for it anyway, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you just rest as much as you can. I haven't got any painkillers now. I think
Okay.
we finished them. Do you want some cold spray? It may help me.
Yeah, maybe.
Just come here. Don't worry, I won't do this. It might just keep you going for a little while. But come see me after if you're still having problems, then we can actually do some exercises. I'll teach you the exercises you need to do.
Thank you.
Come inside, guys. Just come inside. Don't even.
Two runs for tomorrow. Apple எவ்வளோ ப்ரோ வரும் எதுனா ஆப்பிள் வாங்கினா எவ்வளோ வரும் ஆப்பிள்லாம் சீப் ஒரு கிலோ 20 கிலோ எது சொல்கிறேன் இந்த ஆப்பிள் இது நாட் ஆப்பிள் மேன் அதான் வச்சுருக்காங்க என்ன ரேட் வரும்
In this match, I have replaced Scott as Rohit's in Rohit's name. Okay, Scott's name is not there in the list in the Winterthur.
Yeah,
So I have
I've never
to-
actually had him. I'll add him, and then you can fix it up.
But I've already added
After.
as Rohit.
I mean, after you can
Yeah.
you can fix it up. But I'll,
Camera closed.
the issue is the camera at the moment. It's on, but it's not. Can we please have the window? Yeah, yes, you've got to do this. No, can't see it.
The live is working, but there is no input from the camera.
Yes. It's the program I need to get to that it won't give me. That is the problem. Can't shrink that. I might recognize it because it's not on camera live. That's not camera live. That's Chrome. That's not it either. It's really not. It's really not that. It's a completely different thing. Why is that still there? Thank you. Finally.
It will take some time.
Yeah, yeah. This is the third over, right? That's 3 wickets gone. Here at Vinoř on the Chateau field, the Winterthur run chase is going from bad to worse in the third over, and they've already lost three wickets. Opener Govindayari out for 1, bowled by Lala. Zaidi was caught off the bowling of Lala. Lala has been the devastating bowler for Sledgehammer so far in this short innings, and the total of 234 that they require for victory, which was already looking mammoth before a ball was bowled in the second innings, is now looking way out of reach. The Sledgehammer total from the first innings was revised to 232. Sorry, to 233 as a result of 6 penalty runs being added for a slow over rate. Hello? Dude, I can't talk. I'm live streaming on YouTube right now. If you go and check cricket on YouTube, you can watch me. Thank you. Czech Cricket. Ciao.
Close.
So Moshe, we knew that it was going to be a difficult chase for Winterthur at the innings break. That is high in the air. 2 fielders coming under it. They have communicated well, so only one of them ended up going for the catch, and he takes it fantastically in the deep. He wasn't able to grab hold of it a little away from his body, so a lot of fielding coaches might have been a bit unhappy about his technique, but that was definitely a good catch.
Yeah, good catch. And another wicket gone for Winterthur. Obvious that it's not going to be easy, but I definitely believed in them and expected a bit more from them, considering they scored around 260 in their first game.
So with the fall of that wicket, it brings Bilal Salim out to bat. You had a chat with him yesterday, I believe. Did you discuss anything about his batting style?
No, but from what he said, he will definitely want to do well here. He was fairly optimistic and hopeful that Winterthur could go through to the final, maybe even win the tournament. If he wants to do that, he will have to do very well at the crease.
So Lala shall continue from the Chateau end. He is picking up wickets for fun here at the moment, as we have a biplane just going across over the Chateau field. Lala digs that one in short, batsman fends it off well. Another very productive over for the Sledgehammer team from Lala. This man could get himself a 5-hit here today.
Yeah, bowling very well and making it difficult for the Winterthur batsmen to get any runs, as they just had a chat with the wicket.
After 3 overs, Winterthur 12 for the loss of 4. All 4 of those wickets falling to the bowling of Lala. Sure we'll see him again from the Chateau end next over. Surely his captain couldn't take him off when he's in such a magnificent position of 2 overs, no maiden, 6 runs, 4 wickets. But it is a new over, new opportunity, and Bilal Salim is on strike.
Yeah, definitely will want to get off the mark. Some runs on the Banks field, a 4 just scores the fielder kicked it over the boundary. First ball for Bilal is a dot ball.
Yes, he just guided it to the fielder at backward point. Rolls the arm over. I think he's guided that one just down his leg side for a beautiful boundary. Much needed runs for Winterthur. That was an impressive shot from Salim.
Yeah, good shot. He is not in a position he wants to be in, so we'll have to wait and see how he deals with that.
The umpire comes in to adjust the wickets. The Actree once more from the southern end to Salim. Again, he guides that round his legs and he's picked up another boundary. Attree's going to have to stay off his legs if he wants to not allow Salim to keep getting these very simple, very easy 4s.
Yeah, so far so good from Salim. Actually changing the side from which he is bowling, as it's just flick for a single there from Bilal.
Yeah, if that final ball of his over Actree came around the wicket, but he still put it very much on the legs of Salim, and as Salim has shown, he's quite happy to score off his body. He retains the strike. Now we're going to see a real contest here. Salim has very, very quickly moved to being the Winterthur top scorer for this innings, but now he'll be facing the bowling of Lala, who already has 4 wickets in this very short innings. 4 overs, 4 wickets, 21 is what the scoreboard tells us. Moshe, do you think Lala could pick up a fifer here?
Well, I can't see why not. Bilal will definitely not have it easy to stay in, as Lala is running in, and that is wide.
If Salim was feeling any pressure at all, I think that wide will have taken it off him. Any batsman from Winterthur has got the ability to withstand the Lala attack and stop him from getting 5 wickets. Salim is the man. Guided away towards point, straight to the fielder, not able to get a run. I think Salim would have, I think Lala would have to be quite happy to see the batsman playing such a stroke. It's very possible for an edge. Salim comes in again from the Chateau end. Little fend from Salim. Pick up the 1 run.
Yeah, you know, just keeping it simple, because he knew he's facing a very good bowler, so didn't try to go for something big, just kind of flicking it on for a single.
Yeah, just rotating the strike. Lala to Masmullah, it's in the air, but he's picked the gap and he'll pick up 4 runs. Not the most textbook shot, but very effective, very productive for his side.
Yeah, well, he saw the gap in the field, and did that, as he said, not the nicest shot ever, but it did the job. Got to see him with 4 runs, a very much needed 4 runs. As he tries to go for another boundary, you can see him repeating the shot he wanted to play, but when the ball was actually coming towards him, he missed it, so got ball.
Yeah, I think Masmullah's eyes lit up there. He thought he could send that one over the cow corner boundary. Lala puts this one in short. Masmullah pulls it and it races to the boundary for 4 runs. Seeing a good fight back from these 2 batsmen now for Winterthur. Salim and Masmullah putting together the starts of a partnership. Do you think they can give their side any hope if they continue in this fashion for a couple of overs?
Well, if the run rate goes up and they don't lose any wickets, then why not? But they need a lot. It's a big task. But a good shot, you know, bounced up higher than any of the previous balls. So when it bounces to that kind of height, it's just a perfect height for the batsman to just pull it to the boundary where no fielder was standing, as the search for the ball continues.
Yes, the boundary on the right hand side on your screen is adjacent to a road, and on the other side of the road is a construction compound for a golf course that is being built next to us, pretty much on 3 sides of us here. And the ball that time, after crossing the boundary, it crossed the road and went under the fence of the construction compound. But it's been retrieved. Is now back in Lala's hands. And he will continue his search for a 5-wicket haul. Short of a good length there, and Masmula picks up a single. That will be the conclusion of the 5th over. Winterthur moved to 32 for the loss of 4. So we've got one more over in the power play here, Moshe. What sort of total do you think Winterthur are going to have after the 6 overs have been completed?
Around 40, I'd say mid 40, so about 45 maybe. If they continue in a similar and even better rhythm maybe than so far. No change in the bowling.
Okay. So Atri continuing from the southern end, bowling to Masmula, comes around the wicket, driven through mid-wicket, and that will be 4 more. These two for Winterthur are really starting to build something. Is it enough to give them a glimmer of hope of being able to chase down this big total as the black and white biplane returns, just out of shot for you, and he's bowled him. The fight back is over from Masmula. Lovely ball there from Atri.
Yeah, lovely one. I think that is a fairly big wicket, you know. Masmula didn't obviously score that many ones, but he was slowly becoming quite dangerous for Sledgehammer. Walking to the crease is now the captain, Samil, who had quite a lot to do in the field in the first innings. What will he be able to do here whilst batting with Bilal?
If ever a captain's knock was required, this is certainly the situation. Winterthur, after 5 overs, still require 201 runs. 15 overs to get those. They will need a big knock from their skipper.
Yeah, as he is going to be facing his first ball, which is going to be coming from Atri, who picked up his first wicket in this innings. Let's see what he can do against Samuel. You can get a dot ball which is very good for Sledgehammer right now.
I think pretty much anything that's not a 6 or a 4 is pretty good for Sledgehammer right now. Such a big total that they are defending. Atri comes in again. Mo just pushes it to the onside. Bilal wants a run, but his skipper was not interested at all. Captain wins the battle between the call for run against no run. Here comes Atri. And he's bowled him. The skipper not able to get off the mark. And things are looking very bleak for Winterthur here.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the scoreboard, and will they even get to bat for 10 overs? Is what I'm thinking. With 4 wickets remaining, I was just thinking before that ball came in that he might get bowled. I don't know where I kind of got that feeling from, but I guess I was right.
New profile.
Perhaps you heard a voice in the ether whispering that Mo would be clean bowled without getting off the mark. It did seem as though Vinoř itself was suggesting it. I don't know what it has against Mo. So, one more delivery remaining in Atri's over. He's bringing the field in. We've got a slip, which is sort of a second slip, even maybe between second and third, and then a gully, and it's cut through the vacant point region, and it's gone for 4. So, all in all, a very good over for Sledgehammer. Winterthur are in a world of hurt at this point in time.
Yeah, and it's definitely not looking good for them. After 6 overs at the end of the power play, they are 40 for 6. It was 40 runs. It's, I guess, okay. We have seen 40 runs after the power play win a game. But 6 wickets, only 4 remaining. I am not very optimistic about them even finishing 10 overs in this game. As Bilal is going to face the first ball of the 7th over.
Whoa. Thank you.
As huge shot has just gone into the Banks field, but no huge shots on the Chateau field, just the single for Winterthur.
Take 2. Whatever you need, take 2. Alright.
Now I think Sledgehammer will definitely win. What do you think they're doing? Yeah, I mean, 6 wickets already, and 40 runs. Yeah, they need 200 and they need for the total 200.
Oh yes, maybe no.
It's in the air. He catches that one, and he's out. And a brilliant catch by Sledgehammer. Yeah, I think ask questions about the score. It is currently 41 for 7. So yeah, not looking very good for Winterthur. As Scott Page is coming on to the crease to bat. Can he do something for him? I think the question of will Winterthur win? Do you think Winterthur will win? Is a bit unnecessary, because I think we all think Sledgehammer will win. But do you think 10 overs will be played in the second innings?
It's too cold,
they have
man.
7 wickets. 10 overs could be played, but
We'll do
I'm
something tonight.
not sure about the 20. What do
You
you
want the
in
rum bar is the best place to go.
watch at home watching the stream? What do you think? Write in the chat. How many overs do you think it will take Winterthur to bowl Sledgehammer? Sorry, how many overs will it take Sledgehammer to
Today
bowl
we'll do
Winterthur?
it.
If they will. Well then. Now,
Tomorrow about 10 o'clock
Scott,
flight.
Page, and
We'll do
so
tonight.
far most successful Winterthur batsman Bilal looking to form some sort of partnership, and we are getting messages that Sledgehammer will win the Pepsi Cup 2019 once again. What do the people in the chat think that Sledgehammer will win once again? Pepsi Cup 2019! Replies the crowd. As Scott is going to face his first ball. First ball, he just pushed it on the
Can you ask Alex for a Pepsi light without Pepsi?
So Lala with his 5th wicket, and that was not far from Scott's bat, and Lala wasn't far from his 6th wicket today. Chawabi. As Lala running in. And Scott, it was in the air there, not the nicest shots, but it gets a single.
Hello to Carolina Harris on the YouTube stream. Hello to Avinash and Parth and Jeevan, everybody else watching and listening to this Pepsi Cup Prague 2019. What is it I hear you say?
Pepsi Cup 2019!
And the crowd goes wild.
As I feel, I'm not sure if it's just me, but it might be warming up a bit here at Vinoř. Bilal faces that ball and just flicks it into the free space for 1 run. So they're taking a strike now, Winterthur. Something they don't want to be really doing in this position. They want to be hitting more 6s. But a single better than nothing. Lala just finished his last over. He has been very, very successful in this game, as Atri is going to go from the southern end, his 4th. After 7 overs, Winterthur are 43 for 7. Can we get the scorecard on this one? Somehow. So Atri to come in with his first delivery off the 4th over. After another plane was flying over the ground. Yeah, for the 3rd time it's the same plane that Terry commentated on, and Scott, who's currently batting yesterday, said how nice this plane is. That seems to like Vinoř here. Single there, and yes, we just get a single there. As we are just watching Lasith Malinga's 4-ball, 4-wicket trick. If you were watching the stream yesterday, you would have heard about the update. Ooh. Brilliant bowling from Malinga and brilliant bowling from Atri so far in this game.
Oh.
And as I said, he's bowling brilliantly. He bowls a wide. Talking about Atri, of course. That was a very close. Another dropped ball. What do you think of that, Benjamin? Yeah, they need to start getting some runs and less wickets. As Scott is on strike. Ooh. Another drop ball. It's good bowling. Atri with his slow run, more like a walk up. Once again, the ball just whizzing past Scott's bat and misses it, but he was in behind the crease with his back foot there.
TC got 4 perfect deliveries. Ooh.
Bill looked as if he might want to hit that one, but decided to leave it in the end. So, the drop ball. Exactly what Winterthur don't want. As he hits that one, it's driven, but only the single as the fielder picks it up.
Thanks again to everybody who's watching live around the world, in all corners of this world. Avinash Bhatia says all teams are good, but Sledgehammer are something special. Well, it'll be hard to disagree. Perennial champions of the Pepsi Cup Prague 2019. What is it I hear you say?
Pepsi Cup 2019!
And the crowd go wild.
Predictions being made already for the final. I'm seeing a tight final match against Al Shaheen and hoping Sledgehammer wins. And then it says the other finalists is also good, a good team and hoping for a good match there as it's a single for Winterthur. Bilal still staying in, but currently not scoring that many runs as he would want to be scoring. Mohanty currently bowling. Fifth ball of the over to come. Scott was looking to block that one, but once again it missed his bat and wicketkeeper was looking for a stumping there. Last ball of the over, and Scott once again is kind of hooked it into the air. Not the best batting performance from him. Fortunately for him, no fielders there. End of the over. Winterthur after 9 overs are 54 for 7. What are you thinking about this, Benjamin? They need 180 runs to win, so a huge task lays in front of Scott, Page and Bilal Salim. Do you think they'll at least get close, somewhere close? What do you think? What do you think their score will be at the end? Oh, sorry, 55 for 7 after 9 overs. I'm sure that the score isn't going to be very high, but then they're going to be like maybe 90 runs away. 90, so you're expecting they score 89 now till the end of the innings? Yeah. As the chat is very much favouring Sledgehammer to win the whole tournament, as finally this shot that Scott Page has been trying to play for quite some while now, just defending it and making it down for a single, works out. Finally hits his back. I'll play that kind of shot many times today. Mishra currently bowling for Sledgehammer.
Mishra, one of the veritable stars of this already superstar Sledgehammer team. Long flowing locks, wears designer gear off the pitch. He has starred in several Bollywood movies. You may have seen him in Bollywood films such as King Uncle, serving as Jackie Shroff's body double. And he certainly is on the way to a man of the tournament performance here A couple of wickets could well put him in contention.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in contention for batsman of the tournament, as the ball is in the air and Mishra takes the catch.
Well, I just said a couple of wickets could put him in contention, and he's just nipped out Scott Page, who marches off after skying it straight up. Good to see he's got a smile on his face, or is it a grimace? You can never really tell with Scott.
Yeah, Mishra definitely in contention for batsman of the tournament. If bowler of the tournament, we will have to wait and see, as his teammate Lala has already taken 5 wickets. Just in this innings. So, yeah, 5 wickets in 4 overs for Lala. No ball, 1 wide, 20 runs, 20 for 5 after 4 overs. Very, very good. As off goes Scott Page. Now things are getting really, really tough. Oh, they will have been tough the whole innings, but they're getting even tougher. I was thinking that maybe they won't even get to 10 overs. Yeah, I think now, yeah, only scoring 12 runs of as he just flicks that one to the offside, slow running from the batsman. So at no point after that ball were they looking for the second one. Page scored 4 runs of 13 balls, no boundary, 30.77 strike rate, not ideal for T20, especially in this kind of position in the game. What do you think, Benjamin, about his performance? He used to coach us, and you played one game with him for Velvare, I believe. So I believe he didn't do very well in that game too. So how do you rate his batting performance here?
He wasn't batting very well. He was trying to defend it. He didn't get his back on it. He did eventually, but a lot of times he didn't.
He was the guy who just got out from
Batting
their team.
wasn't the best
He's playing for Winterthur.
today.
If you just ask for Scott, he'll pick one.
Yeah,
Not
not
the Australian guy.
he was attempting to defend it many times, and then suddenly tried to, but a horrible top edge saw him get caught by the bowler. So after 10 overs, Winterthur were 58 for 8. And for those who are looking at the scorecard, yes, Scott Page is written down as R.G. Grover because he is just
Scott for an interview.
he just a substitute
These guys are just laid into it.
for Winterthur. I believe there's a new man in.
Another steepler. Who wants it? They're full safe. Just in between long on and long off.
Single for Winterthur. They aren't in a comfortable position at all, but as I've said, they haven't really been all game. New man at the crease is the very expensive bowler Chateau, but now facing Mohanty from this ball will be Bilal. What will Bilal do, Benjamin? Flicks it on. Ooh. 2 runs there for Winterthur. Yeah, good.
Scott, come
Good
take
bit
a
of
seat.
fielding.
Hang
And
on.
here is
These two had something to say about
Scott Page
your batting.
after
I think it's a setup.
with
Your
a
batting, your fielding, and your coaching.
being under food after being out for not the best score. How do you feel, Scott?
What was the score? I don't look at the score when the.
I believe you scored 4 of 13, no boundary with a strike rate of 30.77.
That's better than what I normally do. That's great.
Well, Benjamin played with you for Velvade a couple of years ago, and you, from what I heard, I wasn't there, but from what I heard, you didn't do too well in that game as well. Is this a usual, or do you usually score more?
I usually score more. I've got a pretty good high score.
What is it?
154. No, 155, sorry.
Yeah, well,
Twice.
I definitely hope that you'll find your form again.
Well, I think my mistake was I didn't have a beer before the game and I was a little bit dehydrated. You know, this is the Czech Republic and it's a national drink. So, when in Rome, but, you know, I had a cup of tea and a coffee and I didn't think that went down very well. It's a change of drink needed.
As the ball bounces over Lakshita's head, he tried to somehow play it, failed to, a wide. Do you think that your now to this tournament teammates Bilal and Lakshita will win into this game?
With the wicket just falling as you asked that question, definitely no. The main reason why we gave the other team about 20 to 30 extra runs in the field, we dropped a couple of catches. No, I didn't drop one. I made a nice one. But our over rate was slow and we got a penalty runs against us. And generally when you come in at number 6 with 5 wickets down with 30 runs on the board, there's a little bit of pressure to actually hit out. So you've got the chance to either stay in there and not do much, like Jeffrey Boycott, or to go in there and do a Ben Stokes. So it's always a little bit difficult when you're chasing a big run rate. I think it was already about 17 and over when we came in, which is quite difficult.
Definitely yes. And as you mentioned, another wicket falls. Lakshita leaves the field with only scoring 1 run from 2 balls. Of course, there's no boundary. Strike rate of 50. So now, after 11.1 overs, Winterthur 64 for 9.
Moshi, what were you saying about Scott's coaching earlier on?
Scott's coaching? Already asked me about Scott's coaching, and I can't remember what I said.
Some general comments you were making about Scott's coaching.
Well, I remember saying he was fun, and a good start to me playing cricket.
You can ask me about those dreaded kids that came out, how horrible they were some days. Not you, Moshi,
As the
but
new batsman Rogana
Something about Coach Scott couldn't coach his way out of the paper bag or something like that, Moshi?
no. Most of my kids are still winning the junior tournaments, actually.
Just a little flick
How did you go, Moshi, at the last junior tournament with your team that Cricket Academy organised? Was that a fun day?
Yeah, very fun, and we actually won the tournament, so very happy.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. Bill Salim is going to face Mishra's next ball. Mishra now. Mishra now on 2 wickets, one of those being the man sitting next to me, Scott, and scoring just under a century, so he's definitely in contention for man of the match. I think it's between him and Lala. As Salim flicks that, surely there's 2 runs. Yes. As a ball from the Banks field rolls on here. It's between Lala, who has 5 wickets, and Mishra, who has 2 wickets for nearly a century. The man of the match, don't you, Benjamin?
Yeah. You know, Lala, he played very well all of those wickets which he had. Ooh! Nice shot, and it rolled for 4. And the 4 runs for Winterthur, sorry. Yeah, it's currently 10 minutes to 3, and the Czech team are supposed to start playing at 3. After the end of the Sledgehammer innings, I was sure that the second game would be delayed, but from the way it's going, it might not actually. Sledgehammer having exactly 10 minutes to get another wicket, the last wickets to end of the game, with Bilal and Roganat Harsham having a little chat mid-wicket. And the one is on there. Bye. After 12.1 overs, Winterthur 72 for 9, needing 162 runs from 7.5 overs.
I'm gonna leave you there. I've just got to go finish my beer and find my kids. I've got to take my eldest daughter shopping later. At least that will be quite warm rather than standing around in the cold air today. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the finals. Who do you think will win, Moshi?
I don't know. Well, some people in the chat have made predictions that Sledgehammer will play Al Shaheen in a tight final game. That Sledgehammer will win. Well, definitely second. Second.
Next game.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Semi-final is going to be played soon, as I already said, between Czech Republic and Al Shaheen. So we will have to wait and see who goes through to the final. For now, it looks like Sledgehammer is the first finalist.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I'll be watching this online later, but I think Al Shahid will have a bit of a warm-up training session for the final, scoring 260 against Czech Republic, who will be all out for about 140. And they'll make short work of Sledgehammer in the final. So Sledgehammer's got a very good batting order, but their bowling is not as good. I know that they've got 9 wickets for not many runs with Winterthur, but a good team like Al Shahid should make mincemeat of them.
That is Scott's prediction as the ball is in the air. Fielder didn't really fancy it, so just a single there as the ball once again rolls onto the Chateau field from the Banks field, just out of your screens. What do you people watching think of Scott's prediction? Some people think it's just a bad camera, but look, here. Oh no. Here. It's not, they say change your camera, I can't see the play. They mean like field.
Don't listen to him.
They midfielders.
Just don't listen to me. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the camera position.
Yeah, they mean the fielders.
Yeah. Ignore them, mate.
Guess
worry
they
about
don't realise that surroundings are. No, it's paused. It's paused here. So no, that's still not. But it doesn't matter really. This is now. After 13 overs, Winterthur are 75 for 9. As it is once again going to be Mishra bowling from the southern end. Looking for that final wicket. Oof, as that ball bounces high and is wide. Is it Mishra looking for the final wicket that Sledgehammer need to bowl out Winterthur under 100? He's looking for his third wicket, which would definitely help him for his attempt to become man of the match in this first semi-final. What do you think, Benjamin? Because his teammate Lala took 5 wickets. Who do you think will take man of the match? Was that as a drop catch? No, really? Yeah. I did, because I'm not sure if Bilal got any bat on it, as the batsman was just having a chat mid-wicket. So Benjamin, back to what you were saying. I think there's lots of players who have a chance to have the man of the match. I'm not sure who it's going to be. Well, I'm not sure too. Can't we just leave this stream running and keep it the same name? As Bilal Salim, his side does end up going for 4, as it's a bit of a misfield there.
So Moshi, you're gonna go and do the toss with me now, yeah? So you'll record, you'll go live on the first show. Best thing to do with live.
And if you are watching from home, make sure to stay on YouTube on Czech Cricket, because after this game the second semi-final will be played, so make sure to watch that. As it's another nice shot from Bilal, but this time it is fielded fairly comfortably. The crowd here at Vinoř is just waiting for that last wicket to fall, as no one is really thinking about a Winterthur win there, as Roganata Rashan just blocks that one.
Yeah, what about this one?
It's not very good. And quick update from the Ashes test at Old Trafford. As probably know, Australia 497 for 8 declared. England currently batting 283 for 9. So not the best performance for England. Now Bilal just flicks that onto the off side. It's a single. I think. Oh, pretty much what the batsmen are thinking, stay in, which is you can see. I guess if the score was tighter, then we might see an attempted run there. Players just want to stay in, just get a good bat, I guess. They are the last batsmen. Full toss and heels for RBW, not out. And Rogama Tarsham knows himself that was very close. Benjamin, I've asked you about enough questions about this game and you've had your say. Are you looking forward to the second semi-final between Czech Republic and Australia? And yes, I'm very excited. I think that could be a good game. Yeah? And who do you think will win? You know, Czech Republic lost against Sledgehammer in the first day, but won their 2 games yesterday. Whew. Dot ball there. We're gonna just hang in. What do you think? Who do you think will win? Both of the teams have a good chance. So it's a hard question. Well, yeah, it's hard to answer now as the ball is in the air, but no fielder is there. So it's a 6 anyway. So finally, Winterthur. Alright, we're going to show now. Getting some sort of shot. And runs. As single to start off the over and 3 dot balls. And now a 6. Mohanty is going to bowl the last ball of the over. Oh, as it's played on the ground, and the fielder stopped it with his boot, and it's 2-1. Yeah, good piece of fielding. It wasn't a really good shot really though. It was kind of played kind of in a weird sort of way, edged that. It looked as if it was going to be a bounce, but a great effort from the fielder, even though the 4 scored shouldn't really mean anything. But still, nice to see an effort from the fielder. As it is once again Mishra bowling from this southern end. Facing first ball of the 16th over will be Bilal Salim. So Winter are now 91 for 9 after 15 overs. So Mishra is running up. Ooh, that's a good hit. They go for 4 no. It's a nice stop. Yeah, good piece of fielding there. So just the 1 run there. Interesting to see. They are starting currently on 30 runs of 35 balls. Do you think he will get to half a century, Benjamin? I think that he could, but it depends on his partner who's currently batting. Blocks that ball. Benjamin, do you think he will get to half a century? He could. He could. He's on a strike rate of 85.29, not the best by any means, as it's a swing and a miss there. From Roganath who's he scored 11 of 14 with the 1-6, 84.62 strike rate. He scored a 6, okay, a couple of singles to rotate the strike, but otherwise he's been fairly struggling, it seems to me, as Mishra runs up and it's bounced and the ball's in the air, but it's going to be a single as it drops in between the two fielders, which are standing quite far away from each other, so a single there, but not a very good shot, is it, Benjamin? No. Ooh. And it's going to be one by as it missed Zira's bat and it bounced out of the wicketkeeper's glove. So there was enough time for the batsman to run a single, adding the 1 run to the Winterthur score. They are getting close to the 100 as that is not a good shot, but it bounced just before the fielder. And Winterthur lucky to still be batting, as it was a terrible shot. He kind of just hoofed it up, bounced just in front of the fielder there. So Winterthur will bat the next over, at least. At the end of the 16th over, Winterthur are 95 for 9. Are they looking like they're going to get to the 100? Yeah, they are. I'm sure they will get to the 100. I mean, they need 5 runs. Yeah, but they have 1 wicket. I think they will get to the 100. They will get to the 100, you think? But it's not enough, really. 100 runs, really. There's it. Bilal Salim and Roganath Harshan putting on a bit of a partnership, I guess you could call it. Best bat so far, I guess, so they won't complain, will they? Won't complain. They will complain that this partnership has to take place already in the 15th over, I guess. But about the partnership, what do you think? Yeah, they're playing very well. The first ball of the over comes in. Ooh, and that's a swing and a miss there. Tries to go for a big shot. He's been trying to really do that quite well. He hasn't seemed very consistent. He scored the 6, he's rotated the strike a couple of times, but he's trying to go for a lot of big shots. So I think he's not looking as stable as Bilal. Depends that one, what's that one?
Connected to the mic, to the big mic in the tent. So everything you're saying is going there as well, yeah?
Was that in there? Oh, he can't get there. Not sure if that was before, and yes, it did. So 4 runs. Fielder couldn't quite get there as it was in the air. So looking fairly
Radoshan with another swing and a miss, which he's been doing quite often. So I think the wicket is fairly close for Winterthur now. Sledgehammer, rather. And a block there. So he was just a couple of times now. He's tried to swing. Oh, he has swung. Tried to play a big shot. And then he kind of blocks it. The last ball of the 17th over coming in. And again, just at this point, they're not really going. They're not going for a win. Seems a bit wild. Oh, it definitely is wild, but it seems a bit unnecessary. So I feel that the wicket is closer and closer. And quick update from the Ashes. England 292 for 9 with Czech Leach and Joss Wickett in. Eighteenth over is about to be bowled. Change in the bowling from the southern end. Praveen Mohanty is going to bowl to Bilal Salim, who just knocks it to the side. Wicketkeeper runs for it and throws it back to Mohanty. So a single there. There's a batsman having a bit of talk mid-wicket.
Is it working?
No, it's not.
I just hear it at some point, so I don't know maybe they just turn it off.
Yeah.
Mohanty coming in. That looked wide, and it is wide, but Raghunath Harshan still tried to play it. Once again, a very wild swing. Mohanty coming in. Again, Raghunath Harshan needs to kind of just calm down and keep his head down and get the bat to the ball.
Do we have visitor here?
We have a visitor.
And this time he connects with it. It's just a single as it's
Oh, let me get
well
past it.
stopped
We got an
on
emergency.
the boundary.
We got an emergency.
Moshi, can you?
Doctor, her finger is hurting. Doctor. See, doctor. No.
Is it on?
Okay, no doctor. Okay.
We have a special announcement from Elizabeth. She has a weather prediction. So, Elizabeth, what will the weather do?
Have the microphone. Where's the microphone?
What do you say? Rain? Is the rain going to come or is the rain going to go away?
Adele.
It's going to go away. And is it going to come another day? There you go.
Your finger.
Thank you for the weather update here at Vinoř.
No.
You don't want to sing rain, go away? No?
No.
But Grandma is listening. You want to sing for Grandma?
Praveen
Yeah.
Mohanty just adjusting the field a little bit before he bowls his ball to Raghunath Harshan. Who hits it in the air and it is out. So there goes the wicket, the last wicket. There goes the Winterthur innings. Currently 15-13. You can expect the start of the Czech semi-final fairly soon, as it already is delayed by 13 minutes. This stream will unfortunately come to an end though, so make sure to tune in for the next one.
You can get me now or Nish. We're going for the toss. Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure to switch to Facebook right now for a live stream of the toss for the second semi-final. I hope you enjoyed this semi-final here at Vinoř. Sledgehammer are the first team in the final of the Pepsi Cup 2019. England 300 for 9. 301 for 9 in the Ashes. See you soon for Czech Republic versus Al Shaheen.
Mino, I know you have a boo-boo, but I know you're injured from your severe boo-boo, but you have to go do the interview now quickly. Okay, so, Santosh, I might need your help. Hopefully not, but let's see if we can do this. Ugh, okay. And then Moshi, afterwards, you're going to come and do this with me, yeah?